Grade 5 learners, how are you today? I hope you are all doing fine while studying at home. This is your science teacher, Teacher Ayala. Did you learn a lot? If you do, you are all doing great. I am glad to be with you here today and be part of your learning adventure. So let's go and explore the amazing world of science. So I want you to have your self-learning module as well as your pen and notebook as we go along with the lesson. So if you are all set, let's start the learning adventure. At the end of the lesson, you are expected to explain how animals reproduce sexually and asexually, differentiate internal and external fertilization, design a poster that promotes conservation and protection of animals, and appreciate the importance of reproduction in animals. Can you still recall your previous lesson in Quarter 2, Week 3? Let's have a quick review of the lesson that we have by answering this question. So let's start! Determine whether the statement is true or false. Menstrual cycle period may change every month. Is it true or false? What is your answer? Yes, you're right. It is true. Next question. After menopause, women can still get pregnant. What is your answer? Very good. It is false. When women get pregnant, they still experience monthly period. What is your answer? False. You got it right. Fourth question. Stress can be a factor of changing menstrual cycle. What is your answer? Great job, kids! It is true. Last question. Hormones are important in the menstrual cycle. What is your answer? Very good. It is true. Great job, kids! I am happy that you learned a lot from our previous lesson. I know that you're very much excited. So be comfortable and listen carefully as we explore the amazing world of science. Before we start, let's play a game. Are you excited? Me too! Read and understand the riddles below. Identify what animal is being described in each riddle. I lay eggs in water. I like to hop around. I'm green, but I'm not a leaf. I have a long tongue, but I'm not a giraffe. What am I? I start as a caterpillar. I go through metamorphosis. I feed on nectars, but I'm not a bee. I'm colorful, but I'm not a rainbow. What am I? I bite and suck people's blood. I am an insect, but I'm not a spider. I spread disease, but I'm not a sneeze. I lay eggs in stagnant water during the breeding cycle. What am I? I have legs and tails. I am your best friend. I use my nose to sniff food. I get pregnant when the heat cycle period occurs. What am I? I have 4 legs. I eat fish if you feed me. I have just one, but with 8 to spare. I ovulate every 1 to 3 weeks with contact stage. What am I? Very good, kids! You all did well, and I guess you were energized by our activity. So sit back and relax as we start our journey. Before you further proceed in this module, let's see first how far you've already known about modes of reproduction in animals. Are you ready? Rearrange the letters to create a vocabulary word from this lesson. Write your answer on your notebook. What is your answer? 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 Were you able to answer the activity? Great! These words are important words for our lesson today. You are now ready for the exciting journey of exploring the amazing world of science. Answer learning task number 1 on page 17 of your module. Encircle the animals that can reproduce in a large number. What are the animals that can reproduce in large number? Why do you think they can reproduce in large number? What are the animals that reproduce in fewer number? Good job, kids! Did you have fun answering the activity? So let's proceed to our lesson. Most of the animals like cats, dogs, butterflies, frogs, and the like need a male and female to reproduce. This is called sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction is a process of creating offspring with the participation of sperm cell from male parent and egg cell from the female parent. Sexual reproduction begins when the male and female animal release pheromones or sex stimulant into the environment. As the female laid the eggs, they are fertilized by the stored sperm and wrapped in a cocoon. Reproduction begins through fertilization. The fertilization happens outside the female's body. Both male and female releases her eggs and his sperms at the same time. The male climbs onto the female back and clasps his forelegs around her middle, which mating posture called amplexus. Reproduction begins with courtship. During mating, the male deposits sperm into the female through a small pouch in her abdomen. After mating and sucking down some blood, the female will rest for a few days to lay eggs in water, swamps, or any with sufficient moisture. Production begins the stages during the heat cycle. The males are most fertile when fully mature. They act moody during this stage to people and show affectionate to their partner. When the female of this kind of animal ovulate, they get pregnant. Reproduction begins through the ester cycle when it reaches puberty. This animal is likely to ovulate until there is contact with the male animal. The female animal becomes much more affectionate toward people. weaves in and out of their legs, rub against them, shakes her pelvis, and rolls about on the floor, and flags her tail. Did you understand now the modes of reproduction in some animals? Great! Let's see if you can answer these questions. Identify whether the following animals are reproducing sexually. Write two parents if the animal shows sexual reproduction. Otherwise, write single parent. Amazing! I'm glad that you were able to answer it correctly. Let's try to have another activity. Now, let's move on to the types of reproduction. Reproduction involves the transfer of characteristics of parents to their offspring or young. During fertilization, genetic materials like DNA are shared by parents to produce new organisms that may either be possessing unique characteristics or having the exact copy of what the parent has. In sexual reproduction, new animal with a set of unique characteristics is produced. This means that the offspring is quite different from its parents. Sexual reproduction always involves the presence of sperm cell and egg cell. These two cells carry the genetic materials from the father and the mother respectively. Dogs, cats, mosquitoes, and butterflies reproduce sexually. Among these animals, sperm and egg cell meet inside the body. This is called internal fertilization. Unlike among frogs, they also reproduce sexually, but fertilization occurs in the water or outside their body. This is called external fertilization. External fertilization happens when both male and female release sperm and egg cell in the water to form fertilized eggs. External fertilization occurs outside the bodies of the parents. The female releases eggs into the water or attaches them to a plant or rock. The male then releases sperm cells over the eggs to fertilize them. Most frogs and fishes undergo external fertilization. Do you understand the types of reproduction? How animals reproduce sexually? What is the difference of internal and external fertilization? If you do, you are doing great and listening very well. Now, we will have more adventure. Let's answer another activity. Animals can continuously make more of their kind. Some can live by themselves, while others live in groups. Research about the animals listed below. Using a collective noun in English, identify which group they belong to. Example: bees swarm. answer it correctly? Very good, kids! Let's answer another activity. Think of two animals that can reproduce sexually. In the first box, draw an example of an animal that exhibits internal fertilization. In the second box, draw an animal that exhibits external fertilization. Now, kids, I will check your output later on. For now, let's talk about asexual reproduction in animals. Animals may also reproduce asexually. Asexual reproduction only needs one parent. A single parent simply makes an identical copies of itself. Binary fission and budding are some methods of asexual reproduction. Budding happens when a new animal is produced through outgrowth parts of the parent. A bulge appears in the parent's body, grows in a bud, and eventually becomes a miniature copy of the parent. The young continues to grow while still attached to the parent, and eventually detaches when it is mature enough to survive by itself. Aquatic animals like hydra and jellyfish are doing this process. On the other hand, binary fission occurs when a parent animal divides itself into two. Each half grows into a new individual. It is called splitting. Some very small animals and certain marine animals reproduce through this method. This allows them to quickly grow clusters of closely living groups or colonies. The sea anemone is able to reproduce by binary fission. It splits its polyp and body into halves. Then it grows into the two new sea anemone. Parthenogenesis is a form of asexual reproduction in which an egg develops into an individual without being fertilized. Fragmentation is the breaking of an individual into parts followed by regeneration. Did you understand now the asexual reproduction in animals? What are the modes of asexual reproduction? We have budding, binary fission, fragmentation, and parthenogenesis. Now, we will have more adventure to go through. Let's answer this activity to see how far you understand about the lesson. Copy the diagram below and write inside the corresponding box a brief description about mode of reproduction of each of the following animal. Were you able to complete the graphic organizer? Great! Let's answer another activity. What are some animals found in your community with same mode of reproduction of dogs, cats, butterflies, frogs, and mosquitoes? List at least 5. Good job, kids! Your answer may vary, but I will look into it if I check your answer sheets. You are doing great if you were able to come this far. If you have a pet in your home, how are you going to take good care of your pregnant pet? Good job, kids! Our animals should be properly taken care of, especially if they are pregnant. Give them a place to stay, a food to eat, and a water to drink. If you do have the same thinking, you are properly taking care of your pets. Who among you enjoys doing artwork? That's great! Join me in another activity that will showcase your creativeness. Nowadays, art is no longer confined in a colorful two-dimensional masterpiece. People now use different medium to make their artwork more eye-catching. Let us try to make a three-dimensional artwork of your favorite animal. Draw your favorite animal in the illustration board using a pencil and later on, trace its outline with a permanent marker. Glue some cracked eggshells and other materials that you can think of to your artwork. Color your masterpiece. Amazing artwork! You can now display your output in your home. Before we end the session, I want to see how far you understand about the lesson. Answer these activities. Express your understanding of the lesson in this module by supplying the blanks with a word to complete the paragraph. Write your answer in a separate sheet of paper. Answer learning test number 6 on your module on page 22. Based from what you have learned in this lesson, indicate the advantages and disadvantages of sexual and asexual reproduction in animals. You may use books and other references for your answers. Now, let's have a short recap of our lesson today. We talk about the modes of reproduction in animals. The two types of mode of reproduction are internal fertilization and external fertilization. Also, we discussed the types of reproduction in animals, namely sexual and asexual reproduction. Good job, kids! Did you enjoy our lesson today? Wow! I'm glad to hear that. You all did well today. If you listen to our lesson, you can answer your modules easily. I hope you had a great time learning with me. Once again, this is your science teacher, Teacher Ayala, who loved to be with you in your journey in discovering the amazing world of science. Always remember that learning must never stop despite of this pandemic. If you listen, you can learn every day. Thank you and have a great day.